The first fish is the simplest illustration we'll work on. To make it even easier, I will draw some light guidelines for the big shapes, which will help me decide where to place my paint later. Looking at this reference image from unsplash.com, the pose of this little body is a bit static, and that's fine. Our goal on this first project is to just get acquainted with the process. Feel free to skip sketching if you want to be spontaneous and add a little more challenge on this project. Now that I have established where the body, the fins, and the tail are, I'll grab my brush and start painting right away. Don't worry if some of those pencil marks will show through the final work. I think it adds character and interest, so leave them be. I'll work on the body first and make sure that it is wet enough, giving me time to scratch scale and fin patterns. No need to draw all the scales, okay? Our brains will automatically fill in the gaps that we could see those tiny details, the scale marks, even if they're not actually there. I also dropped darker paint near its eye and mouth to make those marks more noticeable. Relax and take your time on this process since we cannot erase those marks once we scratch them. I'll start by defining the eyes and the mouth and give it a tiny fin near the eye and work on the scales from left to right. This is what I meant earlier when I suggested that we work section by section to avoid the paper drying out before we could even scratch the patterns. Keep adding details as long as the paper is still wet, and once you're satisfied with the body, we can now work on the fins and the tail one by one, just to make sure that we'll have enough time to scratch the marks. Add darker paint for variety, and when I say darker, I only meant more paint of the same color and less water. The two fins at the bottom are smaller than the top, so they're easier to paint and scratch simultaneously. Do the same with the tail, and we're done. Don't get too caught up on painting inside the lines that you drew as your guidelines, okay? They are there as guides and not to limit you, so it's totally fine if you painted outside the lines. Embrace these happy accidents and enjoy the process. Here's our first project. How do you feel about your artwork?